So where are we?
We're still waiting for James to call in. He's given up trying to connect through Zoom. He's going to try to, on his iPad, he's going to try to call in on his telephone. We can get going at 7:15 if we want, I guess. If you want to wait a couple more minutes, we can do that too. It's up to you, Mayor.
Well, let's give him a couple of more minutes and then see.
Okay.
Did everybody connect up before tonight?
Yeah, we all, yes. Did James actually connect up today?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did, yes.
Like right before.
Yeah, just not that long, 6:15 tonight he connected.
But he's on Miss Van Dora's iPad.
Right.
So that might be part of the problem.
Right.
Okay, and you said that mail is the Falcon office?
Mail is, yes, it's Carolyn.
Carolyn's on? Okay.
Yeah, we were sitting here talking about wondering who Mail was, and she called me on the telephone. Said, I'm Mail. So it looks like, so Josh Tapp is also, he wanted to join us too, so he's coming in. I think he wants to answer any questions that we have about the election. I mean, the referendum. Looks like James is here too.
Yeah. Okay, awesome.
You here, James?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you.
So everybody's on there.
Yep, everybody's here.
Okay. Then we will call the workshop to order. If everybody will put their phone on mute or their Zoom on mute unless you're talking, it sure does make these meetings a lot easier. And not picking up any background noise from everybody. When you start picking up background noise from 10, 15 people, it starts getting difficult. So does Josh want to discuss the election? Is that why he's here, or?
I think he wanted to answer any questions that we might have. What, Josh? You want to come in and say something? Are you the one that's having the feedback problems?
Yeah, I just it's been crazy over here. I got the little one and everything. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm here. Just I just joined in just now, but as far as the election's concerned, I talked with the state, and it's this whole situation with this virus outbreak and stuff is, of course, it's all new territory for everybody. But the state did seem that they said that they didn't see any problem with if y'all were okay with it, if y'all wanted to push the election back to August, and the election commission was okay with any problem with doing that. That's basically the only kind of new news that I have about it. That's just an option that's out there, And if y'all want to continue on with it, we'll just continue on like normal and just keep on rolling with it. So it's really up to y'all, I guess.
Brittany, you told me that the early voting would start on April the 30th if we continue with the May 20th election.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Okay. So if we decided we wanted to push it back, then we would need to do that at our next board meeting soon.
Yes, sir.
Which would be Monday night.
Yes, because then if y'all did decide to do that, then I would have to get a special call meeting with the election commission scheduled and to get the get the ball rolling as fast as possible to get it to meet deadlines and whatnot.
Okay. Do you think you would have trouble having an election on May the 21st? Of course, I know nobody knows where this thing is going to stand at that point, but where was it? I saw where somewhere they were trying to have an election and all the poll workers refused to come in.
Yes, that's a possibility. This being such a small election, I feel like we could probably get the workers. Nobody knows for certain, but I feel like we could get the workers, I believe, for the election. The problem that we may run into is maybe some people getting, maybe getting upset, complaints and things of that nature that from the public, but nobody really knows for sure as far as this, how bad this virus deal is going to be at that time either. It could be better, it could be worse. We really don't, know.
Okay. All right. Well, this is a workshop tonight, so we can actually make a decision tonight. So we will have to put this on the agenda for Monday night if we want to discuss that on Monday night.
Okay. Yeah.
Does anybody have any comments about that?
Since the unknown is what it is, you probably ought to continue it,
Okay.
especially with early voting starting the 21st.
The 30th.
April 30th.
30th.
So when you say continue it, do you mean extend it till
Yeah, to August.
August?
Does
Okay.
continuing it to August increase the likelihood of a larger turnout? Does that mean the likelihood of it not passing? Are we?
I don't know that anybody could say that one way or the other. I don't know how that would affect things. Who knows what things are going to be like in August at this point. All right, well, let's put that on the agenda for discussion for Monday night, please.
Okay.
All right. Are there any citizens here who would like to say anything tonight? Okay. First item on the agenda is the finance report. Is there anything you need to point out?
No.
Okay. Remember, you have to speak up. I can't necessarily see you shaking your head, yes or no.
No.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on the financial reports?
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you can say me, Mike French. The antenna rental appears to be almost $10,000 down from budgeting in last year. Bob, do you know why?
Yes, I do. AT&T took one of their antennas off, and but I did speak to the company, and Verizon should more than make up for AT&T removing one of their antennas. They removed the one off of the water tank down at the dump. So that did cut down on the revenue a little bit. And Verizon, it was only in there for 1 quarter so far this year. So we should pick up about $20,000 to $25,000 from Verizon once their contract is a full year, goes into a full year.
Thank you.
Yes. So I'm anticipating more next year, closer to 200,000 next year.
Anything else on financials? Review the expense line. Are you going to share the?
Can you not see? Oh, I need to show it. I'm sorry. I forgot how to do it, dear Mayor.
I've got it on another screen here.
I've got it. Hang on a second. I'm looking for it.
I don't need it, but I don't know about everybody else.
All right, there we go.
I've got a phone.
All right. Of course, the people on the phone won't be able to see all that, but is
Right.
there anything you need to point out?
No, everything is just kind of rolling along. I mean, we do have some issues with certain line items, but you know, I think for the most part, it's about the same amount as last year at this time. It's hard to project some of these expenses in, you know, every year, you know, because they change so much.
Any questions on that? Next item is the capital projects.
Capital projects are basically the same as last month. We are pretty much finished with or in progress on every capital item that we anticipate being done before the end of the fiscal year. The water hydrant and valve insertion project, we're pretty close to getting a list on it, but with all the stuff that's going on, I don't know how soon we'll be getting to that. It may be in the next fiscal year by the time we get to that.
Sales tax.
Sales tax was the best the best January we've had ever that I can look back at all the previous since 2006. So I think it was rolling along. I don't know what to anticipate moving forward on that. Some people think that we may actually pick up some sales tax since we're actually gaining. I know that I'm spending more money around town than I ever have, and we're actually gaining online sales. We're gaining online sales and everything else. Who knows what's going to happen with our sales tax when it comes up? But April 20th, we will get the sales tax numbers for March, and I'll take a look at that. And I'll let everybody know when we get those numbers, and we can, you know, see what's going on with it. But so March would be a pretty significant. I think there's going to be an increase in March, to tell you the truth, with all the grocery shopping that's been going on and everything else. The dollar stores are kicking, and online purchases are, you know, people are getting deliveries. You know, Mendy's buying all her groceries online now, so he's getting them delivered to him from Kroger. So, you know, when they deliver them here from Kroger, we get the sales tax. Anyway.
What my theory.
That's what she's going with, that theory. That's right.
I agree.
So we'll see what happens with all that.
Okay. Next item is Resolution 09-2020, a resolution to call for the election. That'll be the November election, where there'll be a mayor and positions 1, 2, and 3 alderman positions. So we will need to pass this on Monday night to give to the election commission for the November election. Any questions on that? All right, we're going to skip over review the budget packet and handle that at the end. Public safety, the fire stats.
Yep, fire stats are pretty much in line with the averages for the year. I didn't get the run numbers, the delayed response numbers, and all that stuff, but I'll get that pretty soon next month for you. Update that for next month.
Okay, now in our first responders, where we're responding, they're questioning people, and if there's any hint that there might be coronavirus there, we're not going in. Is that correct?
That's my understanding. Yes, sir.
Okay, so that everybody knows, that's actually at the request of the ambulance service, under which we have to operate under. They have put out a new procedure that people are supposed to follow so that there's not as many people with the potential to get exposed as there could be. Police stats.
Traffic stops are down. We've been kind of pulling back a little bit on that, trying not to upset people too much. And we are still making some traffic stops of people that are going too fast, like 15, 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. But other than that, it's basically going to be a little lower, quite a bit lower going into the next month or so. For sure, April will be quite a bit lower than this.
Police Department monthly report. The chief's not with us.
No, Chief's not here.
Okay. Is there anything we need to point out there?
I don't think so. This is his report is actually the guidelines for his police department and what they're actually doing.
Okay. Any questions there by anybody? Next item is permits issued and inspections made.
Not many permits. Once we closed the doors, the permits kind of stopped. We actually did have a building permit, a new housing start come in. I don't know how that even happened, but we did last week. So at the beginning of April. So, it's pretty much slammed the door shut on permits. And of course, inspections, therefore, were much lower than usual.
But I assume that means nobody is doing anything. Is that right?
Very few people are doing anything. That's correct.
I have a question.
Yeah.
In looking at that very list right there, I saw the Thompson Drive framing inspection, Thompson Drive certificate of occupancy. I tried to find that on a map, and all I can find is Thompson Way. Is that mislabeled?
Okay, so that's that building that's going up. It's not really, I don't think it's Thompson Drive. I think it is Thompson Way. Actually, Woodbridge Road, the first 1,000 feet of Woodbridge Road was Thompson Drive at one time.
Ah, gotcha.
So I think now we refer to it as Woodbridge Road, but the first 1,000 feet or so was originally Thompson Drive.
Okay, thank you.
And then the little driveway that goes to those two houses over there, that was Thompson Way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because a way is a private drive, and a drive is, of course, a city street.
Okay, code enforcement list.
We didn't get a code enforcement list this month. Bill has not been here. We sent Bill home to cut staff the beginning of the month, and he hasn't really been in to give me his list.
Okay. Community Development Director's report.
Are there any questions on there? Mendy's here to answer some questions if you would like to ask her something. We are going to probably delay the movie on the square. I don't know, depending on how everything works out here. We may just do an extra one or later on in the summertime. I don't know exactly when we would do it, but anyway, we're looking at rescheduling at least that first one.
Discuss fireworks.
So fireworks, I guess, are still on, right? I mean, how long is this thing going to last?
Who knows?
Right. Who knows? So if it does last 3 months, like some people are saying, or that would stop the fireworks for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. If it lasts 3 months, there won't be much of an economy left when we get out the other side.
Yeah, but we may still be alive.
Well, that's right.
So.
There's not much of an economy for a man that succumbs to the coronavirus to start with,
That's right. We'll avoid the zombie apocalypse, but we
Yeah.
won't have an economy left when we get done. So anyway, I don't even know how to proceed with that. We may want to think about what we want to do with the fireworks. Picking up sponsors for the fireworks, picking up, of course, I think by September we ought to be out of it. So I've told many we probably should go ahead and try to get sponsors for music on the square. But, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do with that. I guess we can just hold off till next month and make a decision, I guess.
We
Just
can.
start thinking about what we want to do, and we'll see how all of these measures that the feds have put into place and the governor have put into place, see if they make any headway. And when we get to the other side, we'll see what happens if we get to the other side by the next meeting. So anyway.
Mindy, is there anything you need to report or point out?
No, we are getting a lot of calls regarding the direct emails we're sending out.
Can you hear her?
Yeah,
Just barely.
People are referring folks to us regarding unemployment information and all types of different things. So at least the emails that we are sending out daily, I feel like I'm bothering people, but everybody's still opening them. Everybody's still clicking on them, and I'm adding new information every single day regarding, industrial needs, small business loans, operating hours, whether it be the census or unemployment. We're still updating all of that because it seems to be ever changing. So if all of you are getting those emails, I apologize to have one in your email box every single day, but they're still being looked at, they're still being clicked on, and we are getting calls about them. So hopefully we're helping some people.
And I just want to point out that Mendy is working from home for the most part now. She will be coming in occasionally. And also Keith is working from home, and he will be coming in occasionally as well. He does most of the cemetery work right now, so he'd be in here to sell a plot or point out some plots that need to be opened up for burial. So anyway,
Mindy.
for the most part, we're kind of cutting staff down here at City Hall. We really have, most afternoons, we only have 3 or 4 people in here. Me and two clerks and Jeep. So.
Mindy, are you getting any questions on the PPP or the economic income disaster loan?
The PPE information, as far as we know, we did have one company that was contacted by a senator to produce hand sanitizer. They called.
No, I'm talking about the payroll protection. People asking about.
I'm sorry. I thought you said PPE. I have not gotten anyone talking about that yet, but it has been clicked on several times.
We had probably 50 conversations, I guess, over the weekend.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
great.
It's they have done a lot of the potential small businesses have done a lot of research on it, and I know several of them have used our portal to submit applications in.
Good. Okay.
But,
that's fantastic.
But anyway, if you need a 10,000-foot overview, I'll be glad to give it to you.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll tell you, if you've got some more information that you'd like to send to me, I'll be happy to add it in that email.
Okay, I'll send you something.
Yes, sir.
You could send some information for her to put in there about how people apply or who they can contact. Because I understand that I read an article today where it talked about people better hurry it up and get their request in because the money was going to be gone.
That was my understanding as well.
They did about 23 billion this past weekend. I don't know what they've done since then.
Okay. Well, I think I saw where they had 300
1%
billion.
available.
349 is the allocation.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So it's more than.
Mayor, I think that it's important that Mindy keeps sending this out so the citizens know the town of Somerville is still there for them.
Oh, I think so. I don't, anybody that doesn't want to get it can always unsubscribe, or they can just delete them when they come in if they don't want to read them.
That's kind of the way I look at it. If you don't want to see it, yeah, just delete it. Doesn't hurt my feelings.
Can you track that as far as how many people are opening it and how many people are deleting them unopened?
It's unbelievable. We've got the average for a direct email like that is 18%. We generally run, just on an events thing, we generally run about 28 to 32%. For these emails, they have consecutively been 38 to 50%, and over that for how many people are clicking on the information.
Okay.
So we're
Good.
getting more response with this than we are with anything else that we're sending out.
Okay. Well, good. We
Yeah.
need to keep that up then.
Yes, sir.
And she's got a laptop at home and access, and she is working from home. So unless she's here, which she's not going to be here very often from what I understand. So.
All right. Now we still have half the utility crew working.
Yes.
Half
Yes.
off,
Yes.
swapping out.
Yes.
Okay.
So half the guys are working right now. Out of the 20, there's 10 working right now, and then 10 will work next week.
Okay.
And they're helping out each other. Like if there's a water leak or something, they all go help, or whoever is available goes to help. I mean, they doesn't leave Chris there to figure it out for himself, or whoever's running the water department when Chris is not there. I guess Cecil's running it when he's not there. So, they try to they're taking care of, they're, doing the best they can to keep things rolling.
All right. So everything seems to be working out.
Yes, sir.
Everybody, are we wearing masks yet?
Yeah,
We've offered, but they have not requested yet.
yeah, the guys outside don't want to wear a mask, but I guess we can make them wear a mask. But just me wearing it today, I went to Walmart this morning and bought some stuff, and I had a mask on, and my glasses kept fogging up the whole time I was in there. Every time I took a breath.
How many people were wearing masks?
At Walmart?
Yeah.
This morning, I don't know. I think most of the customers were wearing them, but a lot of the people working there weren't wearing them, which is kind of weird, I thought. And then some people had the big mask on with the two side things that, like a, whatever they are. I don't even know what it all is, I guess.
The shield?
No, the whole, like the little.
Oh, the respirator.
The little respirator down there, yeah. On both sides,
Jason, you're the medical man. Should we have our employees wear masks?
What they're saying down here, which is a little different than Tennessee, I'm assuming, since I'm in Florida, but the virus, the way it's spread is, of course, is if someone that comes in contact with it, they rub their face, or they, eat food, or if they touch somebody else's face. Their recommendation when we opened up 2 weeks ago was for anybody that had contact with them, with a patient. Now this is a patient, which of course our employees aren't going to know who patients are, and if they do have contact with the public, they're not going to be. They should maintain a minimum of, like, I think I seen Chief Webb's report a while ago. They should maintain at least 6 feet with contact of anyone. But as far as wearing masks or gloves, or if they this virus doesn't survive well in the heat, which our it's a little warmer down here than it is in Tennessee, I imagine, but it is fixing to start warming up, and with the guys working outside mostly, I would recommend maybe they having at least a minimum of a surgical mask just in case they would not the N95s, but just in case if anyone has potential to come in contact with the public, I would recommend that. But if they're not coming in contact with the public, I don't foresee them really being exposed to this. That would kind of be my recommendation, unless it comes down from, say the governor or, which this information I'm getting from is from the CDC, the Center of Disease and Control. That's what they're recommending, is just right now surgical mask and maintaining a 6-foot distance. But that's only if they're coming in contact with possible people who are exposed.
Okay. Planning Commission report.
Sorry. We did have a public hearing at the Planning Commission regarding the rezoning of that property. But in order to rezone the property, we have to have a public hearing where people can come and discuss it. And I don't know how we could do that. I guess we could just, haven't figured out the mechanism to do that. So I called Mr. Gersava and left him a message and told him we were putting it off until we could have a public hearing regarding this. Unless we could come up with a alternative, which would be to do this. But you see how difficult it's not exactly easy to get everybody on Zoom. And I don't know, maybe we need to wait and until we can actually have a real public hearing, which may be in a couple of months. Anyway, they did recommend to rezone that property. So they made a recommendation to the board to rezone that property. McNabb Auto Body came by, the Design Review Commission also, and they are going to change the front, the stone they thought was going to be too heavy on the front of that building. And they changed it to some other kind of surface, that board and bat concrete board surface on the facade. So that was approved by the Design Review Commission.
Robert, Bob.
Yeah.
George. Could you correct the minutes?
I can't hear you, George. Sorry.
Can you correct the minutes? You reported that all voted aye. I did not vote aye.
Okay. Did you vote no?
I abstained.
Okay. I can fix that.
Thank you.
Which property is that? That 14790. What property is that?
It's right next door to the, what's the name of the car dealer? Rickman Car.
Yeah, Rickman Motors.
Oh,
So right,
okay.
it's just to the east of that property. It's another sign. There's another sign there. It's a piece of property for sale.
Okay.
It's
I know
about
what
an
you're
acre of property right there.
talking- Okay.
Public Works Manager's report.
Yep. Okay. They got 19. I can't believe they put 19 services in, but they did with all the rain and everything. They put 9 in last week, I heard, but that's not on this report. Anyway, are there any questions about this?
What did we ever come to the decision about buying all those meters? Are we still just going to purchase them as needed, or was we going to do like?
There's no real break until you get to 500, and
So
there
we're
is no room to put 500 meters locked up in the gas building.
Okay.
So I think we're just going to keep it at 100 by hundreds as we go. For now, it just becomes a space issue. We just don't have enough room to put them in the cage in the gas building.
Okay.
review the specifications for competitive quotes on the traffic signal maintenance.
Traffic signal maintenance contract is due this year. It was a 3-year contract. It's due at the end of this year, and it's just a competitive quote. It was about $6,500, I believe, a year last time. So we can get we're only going to get 2 quotes anyway, more than likely. It would just be Shelby Electric and DeSoto Electric. And DeSoto usually does not, cannot meet Shelby. They're a lot further away than Shelby Electric is. But anyway, we will go ahead and we can go ahead and get quotes again. It's exactly the same quote as last time. All I did was change the dates. I didn't really change anything on it.
Okay, item 4C, 417 Midland Street roofing bid project.
This is the old electric building. So I'm working on getting there, sorry. Why don't I just do it the easy way, huh? All right, so the TML, not TML, Public Entity Partners has requested that we either fix up the building or board it up so that to reduce liability issues down there at the building. So in order to fix it up, we want to start with the roof. Remember, we got a bid to actually make that building livable in there, like with office space and everything else, which was $400,000 for a 2,500 square foot building, which just seemed a little excessive. Anyway, I think that we can do it if we piece it out. We can do different things. All we need to do really is to put a new roof on it, put new windows and doors in it, and then maybe board up some of the entrances in the back that won't need to be used. And we can use it to store our papers, and we can get rid of that trailer down there that's been sitting there for, well, since Austin was here. And then we can have a place to store that, and some gas stuff is already in there. The gas pipes, rolls of pipe are in there right now also. So, you know, it wouldn't take much to be able to just, you know, fix the roof, fix those windows and doors, and make it look better. We have to do a little work to the brick outside, but really for you know, we got an estimate for a sprayed on membrane roof. It's not, they wouldn't put a membrane on it, but they would spray on a membrane and then add another crystals or something to make it tougher so it holds up over time. And that's about $25,000 to do that. So we put a contract together here, which does not require a certain type of roofing. You could use a membrane roof, or, you know, a TPO roof, or that spray on membrane roof, or a metal roof, and give us an estimate on what you think it would take to do it. Anyway, that's the contract, and we'd like to go to bid on that, well, as soon as possible, if we can go to bid on that and get that ready for May.
Okay,
Meeting.
bring that up and put that on the agenda, please.
Yes, sir.
Any questions on that? Okay, preliminary estimate for gas reliability 7.
And you can see the professional method, which she took a picture with her camera, it looks like. I guess she's working at home. So this was the updated base bid figures, which I think the original base bid was about 820, the original estimate. Now it's been lowered a little bit, I guess. And if you don't remember what gas phase 7 is, I've got a picture of it right here. It's creating a 6-inch pipeline, connecting to an existing pipeline here at Wirt Road, down here in the lower right-hand corner, going up to Feathers Chapel, going west on Feathers Chapel, and connecting to gas phase 6 down here where we already have a stub out to accept that pipe there. That was the last project that we just completed on Ivy Road there. So it's just one more loop in the project, and I think that would be done for a while. I don't know where we would go after that, as far as getting our customers to the far end of our service area as much pressure and that they need to operate their heat in the wintertime.
Bob, there is a gas line there now, correct? What inch?
There's 6-inch existing there already. Is that what you're asking me, Mike?
Yeah, and this puts what inch in?
This attaches 6-inch to 6-inch.
Okay,
So at the end of Work Road, there's a 6-inch pipe there, and we put 6-inch pipe in on gas phase 6. So it would all be 6,
okay.
which I think is gonna, for residential purposes, will cover us for a long time.
Is Oakland still doing any developing over there in them subdivisions off Wart Road? Or they
Don't really know the answer to that. This is really more of a looping project. We could really pick up maybe 200 customers on this. Well, you can see that one development right down there at Work Road. There's a lot of propane tanks on those houses. We could pick up some customers there, and then there are other customers along the way where we could pick up a couple hundred customers probably. But its purpose really is to get gas to our current customers that are all the way out there near exit 28 down there near Galloway and the new interchange at on I-40.
And we, for next week's meeting, can we get a map showing what we've got in that area already and what sizes they are, and so that we can see?
Yeah, wait. Well, here's, yes, we can do that. This is the gas phase 6 and gas phase 7 put together. The yellow lines over here, that's gas phase 6. And this is gas phase 7, these pink, purple, whatever color that is, line right there. So these other lines are the different size lines. If you can see them, it's hard to kind of see, but you can see this purple line right here is a 4-inch line on Fields Drive.
I'm sorry, where are you?
All the way over here to the west.
Okay.
Can you see my cursor over here?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 4-inch line. The line going north and south, that's a 3-inch line. Those orange lines are 3-inch lines. There are 2-inch lines going through the subdivisions here. You can see the red are 2-inch lines. Those are the existing lines that go into the subdivisions, the mains. Of course, it doesn't show the smaller lines. Anything green, which I don't see any green on here, would be 8-inch lines.
Okay, could you send me a copy of this map?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Does anybody else want a copy? Mike?
I'll send it to everybody in a
Yes,
few minutes.
I would like a copy.
I'll send it to everybody in a few minutes. They can go take a look at it.
Thank you.
Okay.
This is actually the original estimate that we got from Heathcote and Davis, which was 828, and they lowered it to, it looks like 804, whatever it was. 808. Okay. 808, yeah.
Okay. If you'd put that on the agenda for Monday night.
Yep.
We've already discussed the election. Is there anything else on this agenda that we need to talk about before we go into the budget?
No.
All right.
I got a question. What about our paving project? Where is it at?
What do you mean?
Have they started paving roads yet?
No, we're still waiting for Dave to get started, but he'll be finished before the end of the fiscal year. But it's just a matter of him getting time to get started. As soon as he gets started on it, we'll be finished with it. It won't take very long once he gets going. Just been a lot of rain. You know what it's like.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they've gotten as far as they have on the sidewalk project, to tell you the truth. It's been so much rain. But we'll get in contact with Dave and get him moving forward on that.
Okay, any other questions? All right, the budget. Do you want to open the budget packet?
Yes, sir. It's on the screen. I too have printed versions of the budget packet if anybody wants it.
All right, do you want to discuss the considerations that you have here?
Right. So what I basically say in a nutshell, it's really hard to determine exactly what's going to happen next year with the budget. So I looked through the budget. There are quite a few line items in the revenue side that probably won't be affected by the coronavirus or a downturn in the economy, but there are other sections that could be affected by, 15, 20% drops in revenue, state share taxes, sales tax, that kind of stuff. I mean, wholesale liquor tax might go up. There's nothing to do but, drink liquor. I don't know. But, I don't really know how it's all going to get affected. So I created, in my proposal, I created a second budget, which shows basically a 10% drop in total revenue for the general fund. And anyway, you can take a look at that in a few minutes when we get there. Some things we might want to consider not doing next year would be maybe not donating money to the 501c3s. We've only been doing it for 2 years. That would save us about $8,500. We might want to consider defunding the 12th position in the police department. We've had that position since July 1st of 17, and it's only been filled 4 months out of the 36 months that we've had it. So even though it's been budgeted, that money is budgeted and there's been no real expense against it. And that's 51 around, between all of the benefits and everything else, it's about $51,000 a year we would save off of what we budgeted. We could consider skipping purchasing the police department cars this year. That's would reduce appropriations by about $80,000. And we could consider either eliminating or lowering the cost of living pay increases. Each percent is about $9,200 to the general fund. So if we did 3%, it's about a little over $27,000. So anyway, that's gives you an idea of what we could save. I'll put all those together, and that's about $170,000 based on a 3% raise from the previous year and the cars and all that stuff. So there's a way to save money if we have to. One way we can look at it is we could budget those items and just keep an eye on the revenues. And if the revenues are falling way short of expectations, we could not do some of those things. Of course, if we give pay increases, we're going to have to give them the pay increases. But buying the police cars could be skipped if revenues fall short. The police officer's position could stay funded, but we would understand that if revenues are not coming in, that we would not hire that person to fill that 12th position. There are ways we can, kind of work with the budget and make it all work depending on what happens. Things that I did add to the budget would be the 2 TDOT projects. They are in progress, and so development costs of those, the other 2 TDOT projects that we have, sidewalk projects, the one for the sidewalk going to UT Martin, and then the one for the Death Triangle. Both of those are funded by TDOT, and they are in progress right now. And they probably have about another year to go before we actually award those contracts. So I wouldn't see that anything would be done in fiscal year 21 anyway. We're talking more like fiscal year 22 before we get to those projects. So in a nutshell, we can continue to operate with the understanding that we are going to keep an eye on those revenues, and then we could cut a few things or just not do a few things to make it all work, or we could budget lower and just cut them now if you want to. It's up to you guys. So in the proposed budget, I have an extra column, which would be the lowered budget. The light green column is the lowered budget based on what I think we can cut out of there. Of course, we can do whatever you guys want.
I do have concerns about cutting out the 501c3s.
Okay.
Because during this time, they're going to need that more than ever.
That's true.
And I have a real problem with that because they really will be under stress during this.
Okay. Well, the two things that could save us the most money would be the 12th position in the police department and the $80,000 of police vehicles. Those are the big ticket items. That's $130,000 worth of budget right there that we could put off if revenues don't come through. You know, we could kind of just keep an eye on it, like I said, and you know, we don't have to order those police vehicles in September. We can wait until November or December to order them. You know, we don't have to order them right away. And we can see how everything's going to see if we actually come out of this thing in a timely manner or not.
What's the total? Excuse me. What's the total of the 501 and 501?
$8,500 was what we budgeted last year for the 501c3s.
Okay.
So we've already gotten one request from Carl Perkins for their $2,500. Nobody else has requested money yet, but I'm sure they'll come through with their requests. The other ones we funded were the Imagination Library, Fayette Literacy, and Fayette Cares. Mm-hmm.
Would you ask David just to check with him about not purchasing these 2 police cars for right now? Make sure that that they're really not needed, and that, you know, we can get by with what we got in our fleet for right now.
Yes. So I know that I know that when we get both of the ones that we ordered this year in, I know GM shut down, so we got one vehicle. We're waiting for the other one. The other one's still on the line being built, but who knows when that'll be built finally. But when we get the other 2 in, we will have nothing but Tahoes in our fleet. Now, some of them are older. We have a 2010 in there and a 2011 in there. But, you know, I will talk to David about it, but I believe they'll all be, I don't think there's going to be a problem with it. I don't think they have a lot of high mileage on them either, but I can check on the mileage and everything else on them too. Okay. But like I said, we could budget them and just not purchase them. If the revenues are falling short or 20% down in sales tax, we're not going to be able to buy them, more than likely. So. But like I said, I don't even know if they're going to be down, because people are buying stuff online, and we're now getting the revenue that was going to Memphis. If people are buying, makeup and clothing and everything from Macy's online or Walmart online or Sam's online, we're getting that revenue, or Amazon or whatever. So I don't really know if we're going to see a huge dip like 20%. I think places like Memphis are going to see a big dip because they're sales tax driven because of all the retail they have. But, we don't have a whole lot of retail in town, and not like that anyway. Not those big box stores like that. So anyway, that was what I thought about with my, with my budget, or the budget I'm presenting.
John David, what are the bank economists saying? Do you know? Are they making any predictions yet?
I really think it's too early for anybody to truly say. It seems as all of these areas, it seems as these areas hit an apex and sort of go down, like happened the other day, the markets react. react positively. I haven't seen, one thing I have noticed in the last few days, I'd say 90% of our interest that we have in borrowings have been the SBA, PPP, the income economic disaster, because that's just the a real interesting item to all of them right now. I really don't know where we're going from here.
Okay, I'd probably suspect if somebody was jumping out there telling us where we were going to come out at the end of this now.
I don't know. I mean, if you can even look at how fast the GDP has fallen compared to how slow it fell, you know, during the Great Depression, you know. But you know, right now we're tend to be moving up a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard the interview that Fred Smith gave. Now, this was on the 19th, I believe, of March, but he predicted that we would see a V when we look back at this. And that's I thought, a really positive comment.
Yeah.
Well, look at the market. You know, I mean, I know the market's a lot of speculation and a lot of people are making a lot of money in that market, but it was down from 30,000 to 18.5, and it's already back 27% from where it was.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know.
we were in a bear market for 7 days, shortest bear market ever. So, and now we're in a bull market again. So,
yeah.
You know,
And so you know, that may be the V that he was talking about, but it was a real interesting
So,
interview.
You know, it took 4 years to get to the bottom during the Depression, and it probably took the Second World War to get out of it. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's good. You know, if of course if it lasts until August, that's maybe a whole different ball game. If it lasts until May, it may be a V. You know, in my opinion, but.
Well, you know, this is probably going to be longer lasting than 9/11, but you can look at what the economy and the market did, how it reacted.
Yeah.
You know, a few months after 9/11.
Yep.
I think this is going to stretch out longer, but you know, I know the people that I talk to are really hopeful that we're going to look back at this and it'll be sort of a V shape where it goes down and it comes back dramatically when it starts to return.
I'm ready to go eat some Chinese food. I don't know about anybody else.
Yeah.
Well, you can get the little boxes.
Yeah, that's not the same. I want the buffet with all the different choices on there.
Well, speaking of V's, I know I had heard today that they seem to think that this epidemic or pandemic is down here. They think it seems it's going to be cresting around the 21st with, like I was saying earlier, with the heat coming. This virus really doesn't last, you know, in the heat. It just will not sustain itself. The flu season is also at the tail end of it. So, of course, there's no for sure way, but I honestly feel like that May might be looking better for everybody, just from that standpoint, and what John David was talking about.
Okay. On the budget, do we want to go into a lot more detail, or does everybody want time to study this, or how do y'all want to handle the budget?
I myself would like to look over it a little bit, but I'm sort of feeling that if we do a couple of the things like Bob says, like the 12th police officer, that I mean that's something that, you know, that money we could use for other things in the general fund. But just like the cars, we could budget them, but that doesn't mean we have to spend the money.
Well, we don't have to do first reading on the budget until May.
That's right.
we've got plenty of time. We just
Yeah.
need to, we will be getting, you don't have the government grant and the governor's grant in here, do you, Bob?
I do not, and I just received the paperwork today, Mayor, and I sent you an idea of what we could do with that money. Right now, it was originally 50,000, but they doubled it, and we would receive $100,000 and $100,600. So we could do some budgeted items or potentially budgeted items with that money, and save ourselves basically $100,000 on our general fund budget for next year. We need to pick projects to do it, and I've got the list, and I sent that to you today. Mary, did you take a look at it?
I did.
Yeah. What did you think about my final idea there?
I think that would work.
Because they're talking about you're talking about roofing projects and that kind of thing, and we're talking about maybe putting a roof, and I put the capital requests up here on the screen. You can see what the green are budgeted, and the blue are something we need to consider, and the white are basically something that we can put off for the future, or we could rebudget. We can amend the budget if we need to during the year. But the roof on the UT Martin Somerville Center in the old part of the building in the back that was not renovated, there's a large section of roof that's over Kara's office space and over the kitchen and that kind of stuff. And Jeep's done a good job of keeping that thing going, but we could do that. We could fix that roof fairly easily, and we did receive an estimate from that guy with the spray-on membrane roof of about $50,000, rather than spending close to $100,000 for a TPO roof. Excuse me, a TPO roof. Tom's got the same roof on his roof, and he really likes it. And it's easily repairable if it leaks. They come out and just spray a little spot, and it's finished. They don't have to replace the whole roof. Anyway, it's kind of interesting. I know David Newby put it on some of his buildings over there on the south side of the square recently. So it's a company in Oakland that does that around here, and we got an estimate here for about $30,000. And then if we would do the same thing to the roof over the museum, instead of just kind of spot repairing it, maybe actually do that. And we got an estimate for him for that of about $25,000. And then the Watson system for the computer system for the police cars, which is basically an e-ticketing system. I don't quite have a solid price on that yet. I've been asked after the chief to get me a solid price on that. But that would spend
Bob,
our
could that be
100,000.
sent to all of us?
Pardon me?
Could that be sent to all of us?
Yes, I'll send you the whole thing.
Okay.
That money
Anyway,
has to,
that's three things that are basically add up to about $110,000 that I think would cost us $10,000 instead.
that money has to be spent on capital items,
Yes.
can be spent on IT, on repairing buildings, electrical systems, but you can't use it just to replace operating money.
Right. Right, and it's only and like you can make things code up to code too, make things ADA compliant, that kind of stuff.
And that money will not be available till after July the 1st.
Right, and we'll have the April the 30th, I think, or something like that. We're going to have the form to fill out, or the 26th or something.
Yeah, but you've got a year to fill all that out and send it in and get the money rolling. So it's not like it's something that has to be done right away. We've got plenty of time to think through that and decide what we want to spend it on. So
preferably not sewer system stuff.
So everybody wants to consider the
general fund.
Does everybody want to consider the paperwork that you've gotten from Bob on the budget? He will send you that additional information. And then we can decide whether we want to have well, we could probably at the workshop in May make a final decision for first reading anyway, if that works for everybody. Meanwhile, y'all have the information. You can get with Bob if you've got questions about various things in it.
I think that would be plenty of time to review it. If we, when Bob sends us all the information that we're talking about.
Since I can't hear anybody, I'm assuming y'all are all shaking your heads yes. So,
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yes.
okay.
Mayor, could I say about 2 items?
Yes, sir.
I have a concern about the proficiency of not only our officers with the firearms, but all officers. And I just think we ought to enhance that training and let it be up to David what he wants to do and how much he needs to spend, and bring back to us if we could look at that.
Okay.
All
I'll
right.
talk to David about that tomorrow.
Okay, I appreciate that. And the additional thing is we're treating employees in different departments differently. Our first responders are working full shifts. I think I've got a problem with treating employees differently. I think it's working well, but I think we need to do something for these first responders that are working full shifts. And I don't know what that is, but I just would like for everybody to think about that. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Bob, you did a good job of setting up the meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it worked. I think it's worked out well.
How do y'all like this?
I think we ought to do it like this all the time.
I think
I would rather meet up at the UT Extension, but I understand we got to do what we got to do to conduct business. So
Now the governor's order, or whatever that is, executive order, allows us to do this through May 18th. So we could do both May meetings if we have to, on that same order. We don't have to, we can continue this through May 18th. We can decide later depending on how everything goes, but we can do the same thing in May. And of course we are going to do the same thing next week. So
That works.
okay, there's nothing else. We will see all of y'all on the big screen next week at 7 o'clock on Monday night. All of y'all hiding on phones will be expected to have computers working next week so I can see.
Oh, no.
Okay.
I have a question for Bob.
See y'all.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
somebody wanted to ask me a question?
Yeah, Bob, are we going to have a planning commission meeting like this?
Okay, so I don't think so. I don't think this month, but there is something that's coming up that may be either the first Tuesday, the second Tuesday in May, or the fourth Tuesday in May. There's a minor subdivision that would need to be approved by the planning commission. I hate to lose momentum on the zoning ordinance, but I think I don't know how. We could have a meeting in May in April, May, or if you think we want to. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Mayor, are you still there?
Yeah, I think we probably ought to consider having the meeting, and we can put it up on the screen just like we've got it right now and discuss. We've got to get through those uses, or we're going to get out here and not have.
I've been working on those exceptions. And trying to come up with some stuff on that too, so we can kind of review that a little bit too.
Let's plan on having a planning commission meeting if at all possible.
Okay. Yeah, we can do it.
We'll do it over this, but let's plan on having one if we can.
Okay, so we already have 2 planning commission members on here, 3, you, 2 mayor, so we're
And Judy.
3/7,
I
and Judy,
can.
so we're 4/7 of the way there, so they already know how to do it.
We're
Okay,
experts.
that would be, okay, so that would be April the 28th.
Okay, well, let's
Could,
plan.
could some of us participate in that that's not on the commission?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I think you get an email on that anyway, Jason.
okay. I
So-
just think it off here, but I got some personal questions to talk with you about, Bob. When you get done with everybody, would you mind calling me after you get offline?
Sure.
It won't take about 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
Yep.
All right,
Everyone have a
Bob,
good
you're
night.
the host. Shut us off.
Okay. See you later, everybody.
Ah.
Bye.